All right, so today I'm going to show you this pair of Emerson 73648. Don't know the date, but I'm guessing kind of early mid 30s. So this one was listed on eBay and had some conversation with the seller. I ended up winning it, but then he kind of had some issues with getting paid by eBay on his previous auction. So my one auction turned into a refund situation. And anyway, long story short, I ended up talking to him and he had told me that he had another one. So we ended up working out a deal on both fans. Sad part is, though, they were both damaged in shipping. The cages were bent backwards. I straightened them out a little bit, but this one was damaged a lot. The blades were, crammed into the cage. That's how far back it was. So, I mean, these were all the way back here. This one, too, in fact, I haven't bent it back. You can see the angle there. So, and yeah, this one's, they're both in pretty bad shape. Main reason I got this, because ever since I got the first green one, I decided, and this is, original factory Emerson paint, but that one was in good enough condition that I cleaned it and preserved it. Has a few chips and stuff here and there, but I decided I was going to make a copy of that fan using probably just a black 73648, because I didn't know if many more of these existed. There was one collector that has one that I talked to, but lo and behold, when I saw these pop up, I thought, or the one pop up, I thought, oh my gosh, this is my chance to get one that was actually green from the factory and restore it, paint it. I matched the color pretty good. So then, lo and behold, for him to have two, well, now I'm going to do both of them, keep one, maybe sell one. But yeah, so you can see in the damage that happened in the shipping, one of the cage struts on one of these got broke, so that sucks. This one right here, so that's gonna, the ring is bent, so I'm gonna have to bend the ring up. I think once I get the front ring bent up to the strut, I might even have to heat that in order to facilitate that bend. Then, the weld or solder or whatever attaches this isn't that important. I mean, if this is actually touching, it's not quite as critical that I use a weld or something. But oh, I just noticed there's green on the side of the cage badge. That's interesting. Huh. Haven't noticed that on any of them. That's interesting. I wonder if maybe someone just tried to do some touch-up at some point. Okay, well, that's interesting. So, but anyway, this one has the original cord, which it is this flat wound cord, which is interesting because that's what I put on the first one that I got. One flat wound cord that I made. It's a little thick. This is pretty small, but it's in bad shape. But I have test run it. Pretty wobbly. I mean, not bad for the fact that the cage was as bad as it was. I mean, I literally just pushed it back a little bit. Has hella spin down time. I don't even think I've oiled either of these, but runs good. Obligatory paint spatters, of course. But yeah, real amazing spin down time on that thing. It's a heavy steel blade, so not surprising. Pretty sure it's steel. Yeah. But yeah, so gonna be interesting. Again, not really clean, not really worth trying to preserve this paint. They're so beat up. Um, really low oil filler neck on that one. That one too, not quite as low as this one. Also, this one has a funky, very funky arm. If you compare the two, this one looks like your normal oscillating arm. See? This one, on the other hand, look how curved that is. Crazy. I mean, it's almost like a half moon shape. So that's wild. Collars appear to be in pretty good shape on both of them. Don't quite see any cracks. But yeah, look how low that is. Here's the tags. Interesting, the tags on these are the six rectangle style, so no date. Same with this one. Don't think there's a date on that one. I'll have to look a little more closely. I don't think there is. So also you'll notice, I can't get it to focus. The serial number begins with KR, which my other one does, and so does the one that this other collector has. Now, this collector, what she told me when we were discussing, you know, when I got my first fan, she said that she was told at some point, she used to live in the St. Louis area, no longer. She was told at some point that her fan, her green one, was from Schnucks grocery store. So Schnucks is a local chain around here. I don't know how far away they are. I know there's some in a few other cities, in Memphis maybe. These came from Louisville, but the seller, other than getting them from an antique dealer, had no clue about them beyond that. But I thought it was interesting because they have the KR on the serial number. Perhaps they were from a Kroger grocery store, and maybe she misremembered, or maybe the person that told her misremembered. So I'd asked her about that, and she just unequivocally said that this person, in fact, the person that told her, two people I believe, was not a fan person, that was not another collector, but just an acquaintance or a neighbor or something that saw her fan and was like, oh wow, that looks like the ones they had at the Schnucks on such and such boulevard. So something like that. So pretty affirming identification of these being at this particular grocery store chain in the St. Louis area. But I don't know if maybe Schnucks bought out some Krogers at some point. You know, again, maybe that serial number, that KR, is nothing to do with the color or nothing to do with the special order, and maybe it is just a color code. I don't know, but interesting anyway. So, but yeah, so also these are non-capacitor versions, and again, they are older than mine. My other one is from 37. I can't remember what hers is. I'll have to look at the picture. If hers was a non-cap also. But so these definitely are earlier. You know, obviously you could still get a non-cap fan when they were starting to make capacitors, and I think like 34 or 35. So I'm guessing these are around that time frame. It could be a little bit earlier than that. I'm not real sure when that 6 rectangular box badge style ended in favor of the other style, with what, 4 or 5 or 3 rectangles on it. But yeah, we're going with, you know, mid 1930s. So anyway, let's give you a little bit another closer up tour here. Yeah, that green on the badge has me a little perplexed. On the side, the other one does not have that at all, and my fan upstairs, the first one I got, does not have that. Just hard to believe that somebody would have painted this the exact color. This blade isn't in terrible shape, but you know, it's all gonna get painted. I mean, we'll see how well it cleans up, but I don't think it's gonna clean up that good. What else? Head wires are in actually pretty good shape, but pretty soft and supple, but we'll definitely replace those. Has the real tight weave, but wow, these are smaller. So that's interesting. That's that I bet I could make that with 18 gauge and one of my shoelaces possibly. I think I made some at one point, the first one I made, and it was too thin in my opinion as far as matching, you know, the ones on 77s. So I started making them out of 16 gauge. So that's interesting. Okay, I'll have to revisit that. Let's see here. Maybe I can find my... Really got to go through some stuff here and organize the shop. The first one I made, the first attempt at a twisted twisted overbraid, 18 gauge Doreen, that might be it. Nope, 2-wire, doggone it. Okay, so that's 16, but this was actually not even an attempt to make a really tight twist. Oh, but that's not a shoelace. That's the later shoelace. That wouldn't be it. That's 2 conductor. Okay, well, I don't know where it's at, but that's 2 conductor overbraid. I made that for one of the trunnion stationary types. It's a little stiff. I think, I don't know if that is paracord. Anyway, didn't label some of these, doggone it. Actually, I got paracord there at the end, only on the ends, and then I put whipping, so it kind of looks like it's cloth all the way through, but it's not. Well, shoot. I'll have to go through these off camera and organize. Better organize. Okay, so anyway, yeah, that might be a neat project to attempt to make that tight twist head wire and put it in a vintage shoelace, which would give me about that same diameter. So that's good to know. All right, well, anyway, there they are. Taking to calling these insane asylum green Emersons because there's a pic somebody had posted when I made a post of the AFCA, I think, about my first one. You know, we're talking about that color, and I was sort of rationalizing that these maybe were in some kind of government. This was before I heard the Schnook story, but they were in some kind of government institution because you see this color of green a lot in the paint stratigraphy when we're doing, you know, paint exposures and stuff in old courthouses and sometimes state capitals, and more courthouses and county type municipal buildings than state capitals. But you see shades of green very much like this. And I know this, shade of green had its era when it was in. But trying to come up with a name for it. Well, gee, was it celadon green, or was it seafoam, or whatever? And someone posted a picture of this insane asylum because I was talking about the government institution type stuff, and sure enough, this is a picture from like one of these urban explorers, and all this paint peeling off the walls and old beds and bed frames, but there was enough of this paint on the wall you could see it was this similar color. So yes, insane asylum green from Emerson. All right, over and out. Hit that like button.